This is a response for MrKillerHornet and his open tag for "As gamers, have we become snobs?" I guess for my response, I'll try to dissect it into the different points that you made in the video. I like conversation like this. It's interesting to me, and I enjoy it. It's refreshing to see more people putting forth ideas and their opinions like this. Um, as far as have gamers become snobs, I'm not sure if that's the appropriate word for it. It can look like that on the surface level, but there's a lot of issues that are at play now. It's a result of, I've talked about it in several of my videos, but it's just a result of the current trend of the gaming industry. Yes, there are snobby people who only play AAA titles, but you have to keep in mind what these companies have been endorsing for the longest time is AAA titles, and the other games that are probably just as good or better in some cases rarely get mentioned. There are games that I sometimes don't even find out about until I hear it from word of mouth. The other problem is that, and this is probably a response more so to the statement you made as far as people playing games that are similar to other games. The argument can be made, why are we picky over certain games with similar elements? I mean, I made a comment in a previous video that jumping, everybody copies the whole aspect of jumping because the game, I don't know what's the first game that implemented a jump, but I could use Super Mario as a basis. Every single game that involves a jump or a jump button is copying that game. So technically, I should hate all games that have jumping. It has its own little paradox in there. But my problem with it, and I think is many other gamers' problem with it, is that there are some games that are pretty much clones or the exact replica of another game. Now, I'll only say that to an extent. I won't be disingenuous to something new. And I made a video about Devil May Cry and how, in my opinion, and it's kind of made me biased towards a lot of games. I'll openly admit that. But basically, every single hack and slash after Devil May Cry copies Devil. Sorry, I was briefly interrupted. But every single game after Devil May Cry copies the same, almost to a T, the same style, formula, everything that Devil May Cry had already done. And so I think the problem is when I pick up a game and I see a hack and slash, all I'm thinking is, oh, this is like Devil May Cry, but you can throw bullets or you can fly. And again, I don't want to be disingenuous. I was watching my brother-in-law play Bayonetta and it actually looked really good. The only problem is now, I have to really think about, do I really feel like investing the amount of time to play a game that's very similar to one I've already played, especially now that I'm older and have other obligations and stuff like that. So it's not as simple as being a snob in regarding that point that you made. It's just that if you would actually take a look at many of the games that are out now, you will see that many of them are indeed renditions of the same type of formula, and that same case can be made for almost every generation of games. I mean, every generation, everyone has done it. He can kick, but he can also kick and throw a fireball. It's stuff like that. So I don't think anyone's being, or at least in my case and the people I know, it's not a matter of us being snobs. It's just that if it's very similar to something we already played, the interest level is going to be not as high as when the first time I'd never seen or played a game like Devil May Cry. And Devil May Cry was not popular when it first came out. Make no mistake, it came out, it kind of grew, its popularity grew over time. But, I remember reading about it in my favorite gaming magazine of all time, the Next Generation magazine. And, I was probably one out of a few people that was excited about it. And that's in the entire school. But again, this is also before gaming became a fad as it is today. Another thing you have to take in consideration is the pricing of games. Now, people can make an argument, games have always been slightly more expensive on average. Whatever. The thing is, now people are more aware of gaming games, the pricing schemes, when a console is coming out, thanks to the internet, etc. So now people are really weighing in. Do I really want to pay 60 or for the collector's edition? Which the collector's editions now are a complete joke. For something to be a collector's edition, it has to be something of limited quantity that's only going to come out one time, and that's it. No ifs, and or buts about it. So every single game coming out as the collector's edition is ridiculous to me. But the pricing now, let's say there's a game that comes out that's very similar to Devil May Cry, and and there are many games that are out there that are like that now. I'm gonna be less inclined to want to pay $60, $70 to play a game that I already played, 3 and 4 years ago, if it's the same game. And one of the gimmicks that they try to use is they try to, everything's HD now, graphics, so you can swing the controller around. It's still basically the same game, and it's another topic. It's slightly related, but not really. Is all these extra little gimmicks that they keep adding. It's not, so far, it hasn't really been enhancing, at least in my opinion, the gaming experience. There's this new, I think it's called Tank Battalion or something like that, Steel Battalion. I was watching the trailer for that, and the gimmick that they're trying to use is that when you move your hand, you're actually changing your viewpoint in the actual tank. That might be fun or interesting for 10-15 minutes. And in my opinion, what I think, I might have to put this in another video, but I think that somebody sat down and said, hey, wouldn't it be neat if we were playing a game and we could swipe our finger like we swipe on the iPad or the iPhone or any other smartphone today, and it would change your view or perspective of the game? And someone thought that would be a neat idea and a marketable idea, and they put that in a video game that's otherwise, in my opinion, is useless, and it takes away from, if you actually watched someone play Steel Battalion with the original controller, it takes away from the experience, in my opinion. It seems like more of a hassle. It's stuff like that. And to me, that's not being a snob. It's me actually analyzing and looking at something and saying, is that really adding to the gameplay? Am I really going to enjoy what they've added to that? So has, due to the gaming industry and the current trends, has it made me a pickier person, a pickier buyer? Yes, but it's also made me a smarter and more intelligent buyer. It's a give and take thing. If there's a game that I'm really interested in, I'm probably gonna buy it when it comes out. Diablo 3, that's a sequel, and I was happy enough to buy that and beat that. But if it's something that's a blatant rip off of a similar game, no, I'm going to be picky about it. I'm not going to be a snob. It's just, again, thanks to the current trend of the gaming industry, this is what has happened. Now, are there snobs out there? Of course. But then again, those snobs tend to be what we would call, very casual gamers. People who just look, it's just casual people passing by, I'd like to play a sports game, or I'd like to play, or I'm only going to play, what's popular. And this is due to the fact of gaming becoming the new fashion popular trend that it has become. It's now popular to play games, so people are looking for what's popular now. And Call of Duty and Black Ops and all that kind of stuff is popular. Madden. So that's what people go for, So when they see another game that comes out that actually might be better, they're not going to be as likely to buy it because it's not popular and everybody's not playing it. Now, as far as your statements about the greatest hits and stuff like that, personally, I don't care. But again, what has happened is due to the trend right now in the gaming industry and the whole retro fad thing that's still going on, people are trying to find these original things with the original car. And sometimes I can understand. There's some games that I actually do want the original thing for. Other games I don't. But then again, I don't want a gigantic collection of video games that I'm not going to play either. But some people want that because they see other people have it. It's and in some cases it's a natural thing because gaming reminds many people, especially from my age bracket, of their childhood when gaming was not as popular, and I've done several videos on that. And so you want to go back and buy a bunch of the old things that you never had. But some people have taken this to the extreme, and it's become like this. It's become a cultural fad, this whole retro fad thing, and so that's why you have people who are saying, "No, you're only a collector if you don't have the greatest hits," or "No, you're only a collector if you have the original box with the serial label and it's covered in plastic." It gets ridiculous after a while, and so you can think all of that, which I guess, but I still don't see how many of these things classify you as being a snob, because but you can think that way of thinking from the current trend of this whole the current fad of gaming. But as far as being a snob, I don't think those aspects equate to people being snobs. So, but it's an interesting video though. Those are just my thoughts on it.